Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights that guide us along our journey. And this is your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. And I am always so honored and just so excited to be with each and every one of you each week to see what is going on. And it is an action-packed weekend coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. However, as you're joining, please, from around the globe, put in the comments, good morning, Olivia. Put in the comments, say hello, where you're guiding us from, where you're joining us from. You may be guiding us too, as you always do, because your comments and your questions, we incorporate them live, and it too guides us. It too shapes and molds the conversation and the energies. And just want to say, as we are at the top of the hour, as we are joining with this show this week, wanting to give you from the unseen. I'll get it together here in a minute. You can see, say, oh, sometimes you just want to rewind and start all over. And perhaps that's the point, is that we want to rewind and start all over. We begin anew. And what was interesting about preparing the show for today was that they were having me look back 2 shows ago. So we started this off, and we had the same orange introduction and everything with the rainbow colors and the orange introduction. Last week, we were building on that 3 weeks ago show. And today is the culmination. Today is where we bring it all home. We end the month of May, and we really end a cycle, and we begin anew. And so that's what's going on. And you can kind of tell how I'm a little tongue-tied and so forth. Welcome, Alicia, from Gray Skies in Los Angeles, and Olivia from Texas. So let's jump in with the astrological. No? Yes. Okay, we're going to go to the astrological info. I always listen. And what they're talking about coming up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is this action-packed epiphanies, awakenings. Because what we have on the 2nd of June coming up, we have Venus trine Neptune. And this is going to be kind of lovey-dovey, airy-fairy, all the good stuff. And yet there's illusion. Neptune can represent illusion. So, and Venus, love, beauty. And so when the two come together, when they trine each other, they come together in that way. In essence, they are, it's a positive angle. A trine is a positive angle. So it's going to be, so just be aware, this is not, as a dear friend, an astrologer, Sheila Height, she says, this is not a time to go running off to the chapel and get married or run off to Vegas or sign contracts. She speaks about that. And However, it is this time to really reflect on the good things and to see the possibilities. So then after that, that's Friday. On Saturday, we have the full moon in Sagittarius at 13 degrees. And I love this degree. It's a very prominent one in my personal life, my family life. So the number 13, and remember, it represents the divine feminine. 13, the letter M. All of these things that have to do with what is coming forth. Age of Aquarius, the return of the divine feminine, her absolute energy and presence. So we have this full moon in Sagittarius. It's also the Archer. It is at 26 degrees, doubling the 13, is the center. It's the center of our universe. And then on Sunday, we have Mercury conjunct Uranus at 20 degrees Taurus. It's an earth sign. And this Mercury is the little brother of Uranus. And they are conjunct. They are together. And so there's an amplification of information, higher mind, how we think. So again, be mindful on Sunday about how you communicate, how you respond, not react, and how you will see, again, these action-packed epiphanies, awakenings, because the two coming together, it can be like fireworks going off, one epiphany after another, one aha moment after another. And so you can see how this weekend coming up, from an astrological standpoint, will be amplified, magnified. Full moon speaks for itself, happens on its own. And that element of 2, 3, 4, remember the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can kind of see this is the beginning of a new time, a new age. And as we come into it, into more of it, into the fullness of it all, be ready, because we're letting go of the old. Now, let's move into the main energies that we're dealing with. And then I'm going to go to an image that explains a lot of it. So we're finishing off the nourished while waiting. We've had patience. We are nourished while we're waiting. We're making changes. We have, as of the 31, today's the 31st, we have 31, this influence, this wooing. And you're going to see we've had this before, but not in this way. So we're going to really dive deep into the influence of wooing, to woo, to bring to us, to magnetize, to bring to us what it is we desire. It's a 7-year, all year long. So we've got the armies, legions, we have correct discipline. We know how to act, when not to act. We know how to respond, not react, these types of things. It all culminates in either a 16 or a 43. 16 is about enthusiasm, having an excitement and enthusiasm. And 43 is about determination, breakthrough. And we are having our determination, our patience. We're going to have a breakthrough. Both of those, as you can see, become a 7. 1 plus 6 is a 7. 4 plus 3 is a 7. So we have double 7s again. And as you all know, 7 is about divine fulfillment, divine perfection, divine completion. It's the foundation of God's word. So it is this promise, this deliverance. And we've been talking about this all year. And how it will deliver us. It will bring about all of the things that we have that our soul said it would do, that it wanted to experience, that it desires. And thus that Venus, Neptune element, we need to be mindful during this time. Take a beat, give it a day or 2 or 3 or 10, as they just said. So that as the things come into our lives and as the things that we have desired manifest and begin to manifest, and we let go of the old, we do so with a lot of discernment. Because the overall message, the actual theme is deciding your image, your fate, your destiny. And then it's through resoluteness in moving forward, and then wooing. But it's really about deciding your image. And what does that mean? Well, remember that it talks about in the Bible, but it also does so and I speak not from a religious standpoint or a religion standpoint, but just a spiritual statement. It says in Genesis, let us make them in our likeness, meaning our image. So here again, remember, we've had this whole thing of the Two of Wands from these last two shows. It's the Gilded Tarot Royale. It's illustrated by Ciro Marchetti, and it's published by Llewellyn. Two of Wands. This path, this choice. Which way are we going? And the beautiful white stag representing Source, the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, God, Allah, Buddha, the higher mind, higher power, the host, the master weaver. And you can see that the white stag is saying to us, go this way. And it leads to this verdant, abundant valley with the mountains, the sun, the three birds above. It's very auspicious. And its rump, its hind end, is kind of facing off to the left. And then this trail that kind of goes off and ends. It goes towards the darkness of the frame. But the other one goes to the center of the heart of the matter. It goes to the long depth and breadth of things. Well, this is what we're talking about in this main theme of deciding your image. It's, are you choosing the higher octave? Are you choosing the image of the divine for yourself? Because it's a choice. And so we are at a deciding point. You're going to decide your image, which in essence decides your fate, which decides your destiny, where it will lead you. Because that Two of Wands path, choosing the right path, the righteous path, guides us forward. And how does it do so? It guides us through resoluteness in moving forward. And then we woo, because we've chosen right. And we're choosing our image. Pardon me, I've got an itch. It's going to bring about our fate and our destiny. It's going to magnetize these things because everything is energy. Remember, everything is energy. And so again, as we decide our image, it decides our fate, which decides our destiny. It's all in choice. It's all in these three shows, the last two plus today. They're showing me they sit in the round they're in a sphere. They are self-contained. And so if you've missed the last two shows, suggest that you go back and listen to them. May 17, May 24, and then today, May 31st. They are like a sphere, a globe. They're in the round, and they will tell you a very specific story. They will help shape your choice, your fate, your destiny, your image. So that's what we're looking at. And why? Let me bring this image up. Beautiful card images from Sergei Averbuk. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. On the left, you see the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune has to do with chance and change and destiny. And it's number 10. So it's a cycle beginning anew. And we just said we're closing out the old and we're commencing on the new. And we've been doing that since we really started the shows back on November. The Lady Jacqueline and I started them back on the November of 2021. However, this is more of a pivotal moment and a pivotal point in that overall change. And then you look at card 21. It's the last card of the major arcana. It starts with the 0 card, which is the Fool, and then it ends with 21, the World. And the World is about achievement, possibilities, and success. And let me just read to you while these images are up that the meaning of the Wheel of Fortune, it's the 10 card. It says, in the common aspect to most interpretations of this card within a reading is to introduce an element of change in the querent's life. Such change being in station, position, or fortune, such as the rich becoming poor, the poor becoming rich. So it denotes chance, change, destiny, luck, opportunity, winning. And then we go to the 21st card, the world card, and it says the world represents an ending to a cycle of life, a pause in life before the next big cycle, beginning with the Fool. It is an indicator of a major and inexorable change of tectonic breadth. And we spoke about this last week. Major change. It was about the elements where the T-square and how those are of tectonic, that energy needs to be released. And it's going to bring about change. And we use the tectonic plates as an example, that when they're pushing up against one another, it's a T-square, they're pushing up against one another, and like the earth shifting, the tectonic plates of the earth, they push up until one moves up and over the other. This is what we're talking about. And it demonstrates achievement, fulfillment, possibilities, successful conclusions. So all of this is about bringing about change, bringing about greater fortune, bringing about this moving forward through our resoluteness, through our choices, through deciding our image. What do we want to reflect to the world? What do we want the world to see? What do we want to see? And I'm going to bring this up because it's our mantra for this week. And our mantra is, I meet myself in the mirror of my reflection. I meet myself in the mirror of my reflection. And you note these beautiful moss butterflies, this beautiful orange background that ties in from a few weeks back with this image of advance. We are advancing, we are moving forward. It's just which path. Which path are we taking? Which path are we choosing? Two of Wands. You see it on your screen, that beautiful image. So again, the mantra, I meet myself in the mirror of my reflection. It means I'm going to see my truth. I'm willing to see my truth. I'm willing to meet myself in the mirror of my reflection. Because in order to advance, it's all about authenticity. It's all about purity. It's all about transparency. It is about laying down, and we've talked about this a lot. It is about laying down the old scripts, the old stories, the old identities, the old labels, all of these things, this armor, these walls. And it's the Tower card, right? In the tarot, it's the Tower. Lightning strikes the Tower crumbles. Why? So as to reveal what's been contained in the center. Well, your soul. It's not about the ego, mind, personality. We can rebuild that. What's at the center? What's been contained, hidden in the center of the Tower is our soul source connection, our essence. And so that's what it comes down to. It comes down to, again, this beautiful, beautiful mantra. I meet myself in the mirror of my reflection. That doesn't lie. It cannot lie. So it won't matter. So choose to embody the essence of your soul. Choose to lead with it. Choose to allow it to come through, to come forward. Because by choosing it, you're embracing it, you're embodying it, which means you're deciding your image. You're deciding that your image is your soul image, not your ego, mind, personality image. They're two drastically different. They can be aligned, and what you want is for your ego, mind, personality to be in alignment with your soul. So this is where, and then through this resoluteness, we're moving forward. We're moving forward, period. No matter which way you choose. If you choose to lead with your ego, mind, personality, you're going to advance. That's what will happen. That is the experience. That is the fate and the destiny you will experience. Equally, when you choose to lead with the image of your soul and you lay down all of these other extraneous elements of ourselves, and we really just go as guided. We listen to our soul source connection, our original intelligence. We will have that image of ourselves. We will share that image of ourselves, and that will determine our fate and our destiny. It will determine where we're going. Because this interesting part, let me know how this is resonating, and welcome Kelly Marie, welcome Ava from Denmark and from Coopville, Washington. So it's an exciting week. I have to share with everyone. I went to do the show yesterday and it was like blank. It was just blank. And I thought we were going to be working with hexagram 43, which is determination, breakthrough. And to an extent we are. However, I kept sitting there like, nothing's coming, nothing's coming, nothing's coming. And so I knew, step away. It will come in its time. And I woke up at 5 this morning and said, okay, we've got a show to do. We've got something, there's something to be provided, offered. What is it? And then it instantly shifted. And it shifted to this hexagram 31, this woo. This, what's interesting about that is that hexagram 43 is about deciding your destiny, your fate, your image through resoluteness in advancing, moving forward. And yet see how beautifully the message, and you'll see in a moment, the message of hexagram 31, this wooing, because it means that we are drawing to ourselves. We are magnetizing. We are emitting the experiences that we wish to achieve, experience, receive. And thereby, in that advancement, what the unseen is saying to us is, be mindful of that choice. Be aware. Be conscious of that choice. Because again, we can see on the world stage, right? We can see people making profound choices. The demonization of woke. Well, woke means to be conscious of inequities. Certainly when they relate to minorities and so forth. And yet we're demonized. We're not, the collective isn't as a whole, but there's a big demographic that's demonizing this consciousness, which means they're demonizing the fact that you're seeing your fellow human. Namaste, I bow to the divine in you. And somehow they're saying that's not okay. To see divinity in the other. In essence, to be Christ-like, meaning to see the light in another, isn't okay. They don't want us to see the light in one another. They don't want us to come together to, item B, bridge the gap of uncertainty. They want us to be uncertain. They want us to be fearful. They want us to distrust one another. But that's an old paradigm. That's an old tower. That's an old way that is collapsing and crumbling upon the weight of itself. It is seeing itself in the mirror. And it's collapsing. It may look like it's rearing its head, but it's collapsing. Because unity is the word. Unity is the way forward. And just think about that within our own selves. When we unify ego, mind, personality in service to soul source connection, we are one, we are unified. And what was let me put my specs back on. What was that beautiful quote? Here it is. When you are steadfast in your power, you cannot be thrown from your center. That you can't be hoodwinked. You can't be lied to. You will see through the illusion of the division, of the wedge issues, they're different from you. I mean, this was Hitler's playbook. Hitler's playbook was to demonize, to get the masses to believe that someone else was their enemy, their problem, their reason for the way they were, or are in that moment. Politics does this over and over and over. World leaders, governments, institutions, this stale, old playbook. Divide, diminish, and conquer. And we sit at this beautiful moment of deciding our image, which decides our fate, which decides our destiny. We get to choose. We get to say, no, thank you. Because Age of Aquarius, matriarchal rule, she's all about unity. She's all about all her children. She's all about all the colors, all the spectrum, and bringing out the very best in one another. Coming and sitting at the table, not with humility and grace and enthusiasm. Teach me, enlighten me, show me the way. The youngest souls coming in, they already know this. They're already, I don't want to use the word program, the phrase programmed for, because what it means is what they're saying, it's not programmed like something artificial and so forth. It's their essence. It's their embodiment. They know the arc of destiny moves forward. They know this. And so this is the beauty, because they demonstrate to us, see, I don't see all of these divisions and all of these labels and masks and identities. I just see the divine in you. I see the beauty in you. I see the love in you. I see the hope in you. Well, why? Because they see it in themselves. They don't know any better. And here's the oldest, the patriarchal Piscean era saying to the newest generation, no, that's not the way it is. Not recognizing, no, that is the way it is. You just don't want that to be so. However, the arc of destiny moves forward. So this is about our choices. This is about, because they said, what comes next? Question mark. $1 million question, right? What comes next? And they said, decisions of a lifetime, exclamation point. What's important to you? And that had a double meaning. There's a couple double meanings in the messages for today. It's about what's important to you. It's like, what's important to you? So recognize, again, listening to your soul will speak purely. It will enlighten you to what is important, ... to you. Ego, mind, personality will do the same thing, except it's going to do it from a place of fear. It's going to do it from a place of wanting to protect. It's going to do it from a place of what's known. We know what we know until we know. So the ego, mind, personality somewhat operates in fear because it's trying to protect us. It's working off of an old script, an old story. It's working off of experience. It's working off of judgment. It's working off of illusion. And so it puts in the data bank, oh, here's all of these things, and and yet the soul knows what the advance is. The soul is resolute in its uprightness. It cannot be moved from true north. It's impossible. And so its resoluteness in moving forward, it's all about the unknown. Yet it's all about the divine. It's all about what's pure. It's all about what's unified. Within, individually, whole of the whole, collectively, unity. Not community. Note how community has taken on separation, division, hierarchy. Are you within our community? The separation, division. Unity has no such connotation. It's unified. It's unity. It's oneness. No separation. So this whole new opportunity, this whole new era is about unity consciousness. One, unity. I mean, can you imagine there's not a conference room big enough when you think that every single aspect of the divine is sitting at the table? How extraordinary. With the sole purpose, soul, S-O-L-E and S-O-U-L, sole purpose of mirroring, being in reciprocity with each other so as to see more clearly, to see more beneficially, to see more. It's a magnification and an amplification of what's on offer to us. None of us know everything. And therein lies the beauty and the empowerment to say, I'm really brilliant and really impassioned and passionate about XYZ. However, I lack 1, 2, 3. Oh, but you have it. Oh, you're really good at that. And you're willing to share that beauty, that divine gift. Please sit at the table. And because we're collaborating, because we're in unity, it's amazing. And it's humbling and yet empowering all at the same time. What's not is when we don't know something and we act as though we do, or we demonize others because they know and we don't. It's high time to bridge the gap of uncertainty. And then they said solid leads appear. So we're going to be bridging the gap of uncertainty. And what the unseen is saying to us is where we've been uncertain, where information has been withheld, or we haven't seen clearly. There's been a gap between where we are, where we want to be, these types of things. Solid leads appear. That means information is going to come to the forefront. Synchronicity, unity, emails, phone calls, text messages, communication, opportunities, success, the ability to advance is going to come to us. Because that is an aspect of what comes next. Decisions of a lifetime. What's important to us. All of this is coming about. And then before I go on, item C is, they said, think twice. In the song, I believe it's by Celine Dion, but this song, Think Twice. And they said, better judgment or judgments, better judgment, better outcomes. So this is all about discernment. It's 7 of Cups. It's discernment. Because we're bridging the gap of uncertainty, solid leads appear. That means we're going to have choices. 7 of Cups. We're going to have opportunities. And we need great discernment, because better judgment, better discernment, better outcome. That will be, and let me give you D as well. They said, moving forward, the best is yet to come. Excellence personified. So again, they're demonstrating to us that as we move forward, the best is yet to come, and it's excellence personified. We are going to, the polarity, the division, the polarity, the separation may get louder and greater because we're coming in June, a 6 month, right? 6, last year was a 6. Conflict, destiny. So this conflict and destiny. Are you in conflict or are you in destiny? And yet there's going to be a bridging of the gap. Because Source always, your soul, Source always wants true north. They want you to come to the table. They want you to release the old. Ego, mind, personality, stories, scripts, baggage, identities, labels. They want us to lay it all down and just come as our pure selves. Come to the table. Come to that banquet, that movable feast. So while it both magnifies and amplifies this kind of division and separation, these, for lack of better words, two camps, there's also a bridging of the gap. Bridge the gap of uncertainty, solid leads appear. So people will have the opportunity to choose, to think twice, better judgment, better outcome. So as to remake your image, decide your image, decide your fate, decide your destiny. So let me know how this is resonating with you all in the comments. We're going to move into hexagram 31 and tie it all together for you. And hexagram 31 is influence, wooing. Its action is woo. And its hidden influence, 44, coming to meet, encounter, coming to meet the divine in you, coming to meet the divine, having this encounter, having this moment. And then its underlining cause was 41, decrease, evaluate. So look at world stage. It looks like there's a decrease. It looks like we're going backwards. It looks like, the old is, reappearing and reasserting itself and all. But it's that last two rods so that we can evaluate, so that we can see what comes next, what we don't want, what we do want, what we're willing to lay down. And beautiful quote says, wooing is how you attract those things that you desire. And look at this beautiful, radiant purple flower. And, purple is the color of royalty. It's the color of the divine, and it's radiating. Well, wooing is how you attract those things you desire. The divine, this beautiful purple flower, is wooing us. It's courting us. It's speaking to us and saying, here I am, and I desire you. I desire because we've made you in our image, in our likeness. And that is it's the highest and the best of us. This is what it is attracting. And then equally, in reciprocity, we turn around and we say, I get it. Because then, and I meet myself in the mirror of my reflection, I can choose my higher self, my divine self. And then by wooing, here's that image, I'm attracting those things that I desire. It's a beautiful opportunity here for us. So here we go. We move into, and actually, let me give you this one other quote. It goes along with all of this. And it says, great hearts steadily send forth the secret forces that incessantly draw great events. It's by Emerson. So great hearts steadily send forth the secret forces that incessantly draw great events. Through resoluteness in moving forward. It's through our resoluteness. It's through our choosing these secret forces it's our steadfastness that incessantly draws great events. And look how the eye is coming through the image of the hands making the heart symbol. And I hope you can see how from the imagery and all of the messaging, how this is all tied together. So let me move through, and Ava is saying, this is so wonderful. Cooperation instead of competition. Yes, exactly. Love the image of the banquet. It's cooperation. Remember, anything that is yours, it is already yours. If it's meant to be, it will be. It's already yours. We don't have to compete. The best of us says cooperate. Collaborate, cooperate. We don't have to compete for something. If it's meant to be, if it's truly meant to be, and we certainly don't need to do the shadow elements, which is subterfuge, manipulation, coercion, lying, stealing, cheating, all of those elements. When you invoke that aspect, it wasn't yours, and it will never be yours. Because you attained it through illicit activities, means, energies, shadows. What it will do, I meet myself in the mirror of my reflection. It will reflect to you the depth of your lack, the depth of your light, meaning how close to light or how far away from light you are. That's what it will do. And so, yes, Ava, cooperation instead of competition, because the beauty of it is what's ours is ours. It comes together. We sit in our empowerment. We sit in our knowing, and our knowing means grace, humility, our oneness, our soul source connection. And it guides us. There's no competition there. Ego, mind, personality will say you have to compete. Soul says this is. This is what comes through from the divine. This is what comes through you. That's yours. And each of us have that. Each of us are a thread of the great tapestry from the master weaver. So, hexagram 31. When the joyful lake sits upon the sturdiness of the mountain, and this is from Café au Sol, Carry On Café au Sol. When the joyful lake sits upon the sturdiness of the mountain, one is ascending and the other is descending. Think about the two paths. One is ascending, one is descending. The train with the golden ticket. One train comes in and docks, it ends. Descending. Transfer the platform, golden ticket. The other train ascending. It's moving on. It's moving forward. The lake nourishes the mountain while it is the mountain that causes the rain to fall and fill the lake. Wooing is the idea of seeking win-win solutions where all parties benefit by coming together. Unity, cooperation, collaboration. Not being threatened by the greatness that is opposite of you or that is in another. Because you too are great. However, it's like the quote from last week. Without rightness, there can be no greatness. So we have to make right choices. Better judgment, better outcomes. Better discernment, better outcomes. In courtship, something profound happens between individuals who feel a mutual attraction. While they may not understand why, they just feel more complete being together. Think of that first and foremost with yourself. Because remember, we talked about going on a date with ourselves, going on a date with the divine, with your soul. In courtship, something profound happens between individuals who feel a mutual attraction. While they may not understand why, they just feel more complete being together. You will feel more complete when you are one with, when you are in unity, unified with your soul. When your ego, mind, personality is in harmony and unity with your soul source connection. Relationships built around expectations and manipulation can succeed, although true fulfillment comes when nature is simply taking its course. So while, yes, it appears or people can be illicit and appear to advance, true fulfillment comes when nature is simply taking its course. Because it's elusive. They're looking over their shoulder 24/7. It's going to be taken away. I'm going to be challenged. Someone's going to see I'm not really who I purport to be. Well, there's a line from The Help, aren't you tired yet? It's like the lie. The lie becomes a part of your future. The truth becomes your past. The truth speaks for itself. It's effortless. It does not weigh you down. This is the same thing. The situation has the effect of pulling you forward because it feels right, meaning when we're in line, when we're in unity with our soul, when we're wooing that aspect of ourselves, we're calling it forward, and then we're being one with it, and then that expresses itself outward. Affection attracts affection, and obstruction attracts obstruction. The hidden influence of coming to meet suggests that you are attracting the experiences of which your mind is currently focused. Your mind is currently focused. When we train our minds to listen and go as guided, to listen to our soul source connection, to listen to our soul, because it's very clear, you experience what your mind is focused on. Woo your experiences the way a suitor would woo another. So woo your experiences the way a suitor would woo another. Focus on the positive, complementing life for making you stronger and wiser. Cherish the gifts that come to you each day. Smile. It makes you attractive. Where the underlying cause of evaluation or decrease was a period to understand loss and how to make the best of it, the time has now come to open to how life is affecting you. Open to how you are affecting life with your outlook. Notice, open to how life is affecting you and how you are affecting life. We're in constant reciprocity with ourselves first. So how is our ego, mind, personality? How is our relationship? Is it healthy? Is it a good one? Or are we operating in fear? What's the depth of the light? And thereby, because when you're really close, there is no depth. There is no separation between the light. That's the depth of your light. Oh, you're way, way down in denial and obstruction and manipulation. The depth of the light is far greater. Your distance from the light. And what you want to do is close the gap, bridge the gap, bring them together as one, so that the depth of your light, there's no separation. They're in unity. They're in oneness. The lake on the mountain, the image of influence where the weak is above and the strong is below. Like gravity, you have the opportunity to attract events by wooing. Centered in your own power, that beautiful image, centered in your own power, you will attract those situations that fortify it. So you're going to, in reciprocity and magnetizing and being centered, you're going to attract like energy, like opportunity, like synchronicity, like events, like people. And it doesn't mean that you don't listen, right? Discernment, everyone sitting at the table. It doesn't mean that we don't listen to different ways, different, ideas. We do. However, the interesting thing will be, because it's like mind, we're attracting these opportunities. We will, the differences, if you will, or the opposition, the differences, the alternatives will be delivered in a way with the same energetic resonance. Respect, grace, humility, empowerment, goodness, wanting for the other. Not denigration, not shadow elements, not destructive elements, not dehumanizing, equal. And again, imagine sitting across the table from another where differing ideas or viewpoints, and yet they're shared in a way that is with respect and care and divinity. You walk away from that experience empowered, questioning in a positive way. Let me contemplate that. Does it open me? Do I expand? Am I so interested or so confused that I want to sit again and again at the table? Because I'm in cooperation, collaboration, unity with someone. And two differing minds that speak with the same grace. That's powerful. That's empowering. That's cooperation and collaboration. Because I don't have to win at your expense, nor you at mine. Plenty of room at the table. Plenty on offer. Plenty at the banquet. There's no lack. So you're going to fortify it. Therefore, when you are wooing something like fear, you may observe how you will also attract an opportunity to fortify it. Be diligent in your thought through resoluteness in moving forward. And my resoluteness, because what she's saying here is, again, you're operating from fear. You may observe how you also attract an opportunity to fortify that fear, because that's the energy that you're operating within. That's the force that you're putting out. It's the path you're choosing. It's the image you're deciding. And thus it's the fate and destiny you're deciding, because it shapes it. It brings it. The master said, when you leave the mind alone and allow it to function in its most spontaneous way, Te will develop naturally. Just as there is a driving force behind life's pursuit of excellence, Te is your transformative essence and evolving power to become. The mountain bows down to the joyous lake and personifies courtship and the lesson of the strong wooing the weak. In the image of two broken pieces of pottery that fit together perfectly, a partnership with life is formed at the threshold of perception. What she's talking about here, and the way this comes together, is that imagine that ourselves, ego, mind, personality, the two broken pieces, soul source connection, the soul, ego, mind, personality, two broken pieces that fit perfectly together. So when we unify them, they form, life is formed at the threshold of perception. It's our perception, it's our belief, it's our willingness to choose to put these two broken pieces together again. We had in one of the last two shows, Humpty Dumpty, right? All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Man, womankind, man alone cannot do that, cannot put the two broken pieces back together. The soul can, the host can, the master weaver can, your soul source connection can, because it's leading, it's whole and complete, it's unified, it's true north. Man, womankind, ego, mind, personality, it goes off, it goes astray. It negotiates, begs, barters, steals, delays, obstructs. So that messaging says we sit at this opportunity to be one. We can unify these split pieces, these broken pieces that fit like a glove, because they're meant to. They're whole and complete on the other side. And because we're advancing, we advance through our resoluteness, through our deciding. To activate the power of Te, do not negate the mind. See, we've always said we must have a healthy ego, mind, personality. It's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's not about denigrating the divine masculine, the Piscean patriarchal rule. It is about purifying it. It is about receiving the very best of it. And through evaluation, cleansing, purging, releasing what isn't. 18, decay, repairing what's spoiled, and being okay with that. So, to activate the power of Te, do not negate the mind, but do not allow it to keep you its prisoner. Being natural and spontaneously yourself, your soul self, you are always wooing experience because it will always reflect the condition of your inner world. When you open to the Tao of nature, spontaneity or a willingness to make mistakes drives inner excellence. Because, see, you're not worried. It's okay to make mistakes because you're doing them from a pure state of being. Celebrate them, embrace them, laugh with them. Meet your reflection in the mirror. Since you do not hold back, you are in a better position to receive. Not classifying experience in terms of good and bad, you are freed from thought that can become restrictive. See, it's only our judgment, it's only our perception. It's only that ego, mind, personality that says, oh, that was bad, I don't want to do that again. Well, what if the next time you experience something It's the greatest teacher. It's the greatest moment. It's the greatest catalyst for change, for advancement. So when we don't color it good or bad, when we don't judge it, good or bad, labeling, identifying it, we have a more positive force to work with. Like attracts like, obstruction attracts obstruction. Wooing or influence is how you activate this spontaneous attraction that is always reciprocated. You must only be vigilant in romancing experience and not overlaying it with your beliefs. See, it's about romancing, wooing, bringing to ourselves, okay, soul, okay, spirit, source, and symphony, okay, unseen, okay, angels, archangels, bring to me my next greatest experience, my next greatest opportunity, my next greatest expansion without judgment. Let me just receive it. You're going to be quick. It's so quick to judge it. And yet you can stop and pivot and say, nope, nope, nope. No judgment. Let me experience this. Let me be in reciprocity. Let me romance my experience, not my beliefs. Whether it is the lover who opens to love or the farmer who uses the seasons to plant, it is by virtue of what you do that you reap. You know, that saying, which we had a few shows back, they said to us, we reap what we sow. Not in a negative, harsh, horrible way, but in the sense of like this, whether it is the lover who opens to love or the farmer who uses the seasons to plant, it is by virtue of what you do, the choices we make, what we open ourselves to, that what we do is that which we reap. If we're open to receive, if we're open to collaborate, if we're open to cooperate, if we're open to unify, that's what we reap. That's what we receive. Neither good nor bad. Because every challenge is really an opportunity, right? Every challenge is an opportunity. Just like every opportunity can become a challenge if we overlay it. It's the overlaying aspect that causes us to fall out of our center. I'm just looking here really quickly to see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Kelly Marie is saying I'm laughing a lot. Yes, see this, and laughter, enthusiasm, laughter, inspiration. Item E, they said, and I'm going to recap here in a moment for us as we close out the hour. Envision all the possibilities. Here was the second double meaning. Envision all the possibilities, pros and cons. Because remember, we can see all the possibilities. Oh, we might act from a shadow aspect and thereby imagine all the possibilities. Equally, from enthusiasm, expansiveness, embracing the divine, aligning and unifying our soul source connection with our ego mind personality. Imagine all the possibilities. Envision all the possibilities. And then you'll see and you'll say, perhaps by choosing my divine self, by deciding my image, that is my image, I will then experience, magnetize, draw to myself all of that beauty, all of that grace. Doesn't mean it won't have challenge. However, I'll see through the illusion of the challenge. I won't judge it. I won't overlay it. I'll just let it come through. Because remember, too, in the current paradigm, some of our greatest teachers, some of our greatest gifts come through diversity, challenge. It's not to demonize them and harm them and diminish them and kill them and eradicate them. It's to see through them. It's to purify them. It's to get to the pearl, the heart, the goodness, the opportunity. And all of a sudden, oh, Well, my perception has changed because what I thought was really horrible or a challenge or I didn't want to do it ends up being one of my greatest gifts, one of my greatest opportunities, one of my greatest lessons. Wow. And my ego, my personality, would have denied my soul that opportunity, that experience. Why? Out of fear. Last but not least, they said, look before you leap. Fool card. So, and it's interesting, this bridging the gap in London, in the UK, it says on all the tube stations and everything, mind the gap, because between the platform and the tube, the actual, that thing that goes along the train, in essence, there's a gap, and it says mind the gap. Well, look before you leap. It's just what they're saying to us is be conscious. Choose to be conscious. Decide that's your image. Decide that being conscious is the image you wish to emit. And then all things will ripple from that place because you're choosing that as your image. So Kelly Marie is saying, boy, what I have opened myself to. So see, this is the beauty, and it's expansive. Yes, because it's opportunity. It's one after the other. That spirit source and symphony, soul source connection. That's the only thing that's on offer. Positive, true north, opportunity for us to open ourselves to it. We need not fear the unknown. We need not fear it because it's not meant to harm us. It's purely unknown, uncertain, unknown. Yeah, okay, so there's a little fear involved or a lot of fear involved. Okay. And yet, each time you align with it, you open yourself to it, you advance with it, you choose that image of yourself. It creates unremarkable expansion, growth, advancement, joy, in ways that playing it safe could never have done. And certainly not going backwards. Because, we've been there, done that. We've already done it. So let's just wrap it up with everyone. Deciding your image, your fate, your destiny, through resoluteness in moving forward, wooing your soul, yourself, unifying, so as to magnetize, emit, attract. What comes next? Decisions of a lifetime. What's important, ... to you. Bridging the gap of uncertainty. Solid leads appear. Think twice. Better judgment, better outcomes. It's a 7 of Cups, discernment. Moving forward, the best is yet to come. Excellence personified. Envision all the possibilities, pros and cons. Look before you leap. The Fool card, the Wheel of Fortune card, the World card, the Tower card. I will place all of these in the show comments below. Incredible opportunities. We will see how things move forward and advance with June as our next month on this journey. Thank you all so much. I adore you all. I absolutely love walking this journey with you, traveling it with you, being fellow light workers, light on the path, on the journey, and that we reflect this way. So thank you all for that. Namaste. I bow to the divine in you, and I will see you all next week.